New York City, February 20th, 1965, 11 at night. Muhammad Ali was in his hotel room when the phone rang. He'd been in the city for meetings, business stuff, nothing important. He was planning to leave the next morning, fly back to Miami, get back to training. The voice on the other end made him freeze. "Brother Muhammad, it's Malcolm. Malcolm X. The man Ali had turned his back on a year earlier. The man Ali had publicly rejected when the Nation of Islam told him to. The man who'd been Ali's mentor, his teacher, his friend, until Ali chose the organization over the friendship, chose Elijah Muhammad over Malcolm X, chose safety over loyalty. They hadn't spoken in months. The split had been bitter, public. Ali had said things about Malcolm that he regretted, had called him a traitor, had sided with people who wanted Malcolm silenced, had abandoned the man who'd helped him find his faith, his identity, his courage to change his name from Cassius Clay to Muhammad Ali. "Malcolm," Ali said quietly, not sure what to say, not sure if he should even be talking to him. The nation had made it clear. Malcolm was the enemy now. Anyone who associated with him was suspect, was risking their own standing, their own safety. "I know you're not supposed to talk to me," Malcolm said, his voice calm, steady. "I know what they've told you. I'm not calling to argue. I'm not calling to convince you of anything. I just need to see you tonight, one last time. Can you come to my hotel? I'm at the Hilton, room 1412. Please." There was something in Malcolm's voice, something Ali had never heard before. Not fear exactly, but weight, finality. Like a man who knew something, who'd accepted something. "I don't know if I should." "I know, but I'm asking anyway. I wouldn't ask if it wasn't important. Please, just tonight, just a few hours. Nobody has to know." Ali stood there holding the phone, torn. The nation would be furious if they found out, would question his loyalty, would maybe even turn on him the way they'd turned on Malcolm. But this was Malcolm, the man who'd stood with him when he converted, who'd helped him understand Islam, who'd been there when everyone else called him crazy for changing his name. "What room?" 1412. "Thank you, brother. Thank you." Ali hung up, sat on the bed, tried to think through what he was doing, the risk he was taking, but something in Malcolm's voice had gotten through, had bypassed all the politics and the fear and the pressure. Something human, something urgent. At midnight, Ali left his hotel, took a cab to the Hilton, kept his head down, wore sunglasses even though it was night, didn't want to be recognized, didn't want anyone knowing he was going to see Malcolm X. He knocked on room 1412. The door opened immediately. Malcolm standing there, thinner than Ali remembered, exhausted, lines around his eyes that hadn't been there before, but smiling, genuinely happy to see Ali. "Brother Muhammad, thank you for coming. I know what this costs you." They stood there for a moment, the awkwardness of a friendship that had been broken, the history between them, the hurt, the betrayal, all of it hanging in the air. "Come in, please." The hotel room was simple. Bed, desk, chair, suitcase in the corner. Malcolm gestured to the chair. Ali sat. Malcolm sat on the edge of the bed. Both men quiet, not sure how to start. Finally, Malcolm spoke. "I'm going to die tomorrow." Ali's head snapped up. "What?" "Not tomorrow specifically. Maybe the day after, maybe next week, but soon, very soon, they're going to kill me. The nation, the people I used to call brothers, the people you still call brothers. They're going to kill me and I know it and I've accepted it." "Malcolm, that's paranoid. They wouldn't." "Yes, they would. And you know it. You know what happens to people who leave, who speak out, who threaten the organization. They've been threatening me for months, making it clear. And I know how this ends. I'm not stupid. I'm not naive. I know." Ali felt his chest tighten. "Then leave. Run. Go somewhere safe. Why are you still here?" "Because running won't change anything. They'll find me eventually. And besides, I have work to do, things to say, truth to speak. I can't do that hiding. I have to be here, visible, speaking, even if it kills me, especially if it kills me." The room went quiet. Ali didn't know what to say. This was too much, too real, too final. "I didn't ask you here to talk about my death," Malcolm continued. "I ask you here because I need to tell you something. Something I should have told you a year ago. Something I need you to hear before I'm gone." Ali waited, listening. "When you chose the nation over me, when you sided with Elijah Muhammad, when you called me a traitor and cut me off, you broke my heart. I won't lie about that. It hurt more than anything they've said about me, because you were my brother. And you turned on me when I needed you most." Ali looked down, ashamed. "I'm sorry. I was scared. They said if I stayed friends with you, I'd lose everything. My name, my standing, my faith. I chose survival. I know, and I understand. That's why I'm not angry anymore. That's why I wanted to see you tonight, to tell you that I forgive you, and more importantly, to tell you what you need to hear, what you need to understand, before it's too late for you too." Malcolm stood up, started pacing, the energy of a man who had limited time and unlimited things to say. "The Nation of Islam saved you. I won't deny that. They gave you identity, purpose, courage to be yourself, to change your name, to stand up. I was part of that. I'm proud of that. But the nation isn't what it claims to be. Elijah Muhammad isn't who he says he is. And if you stay blind to that, if you keep following without questioning, it will destroy you the way it's destroying me." "Malcolm, I can't hear this. This is between you and the nation. I can't, you can, and you will. Because in 10 years or 20 years, you're going to look back and wish someone had told you the truth. Someone who loved you. Someone who saw what was coming. I'm that someone, and this is me telling you." Ali stood up to leave. Malcolm stepped in front of him, not aggressive, just present, blocking the door gently. "Please, just listen. You don't have to agree. You don't have to respond. Just listen. That's all I ask. Then you can leave and never see me again." Ali stood there, torn, but something in Malcolm's eyes, that urgency, that love, made him stay, made him sit back down. Malcolm took a breath. The nation teaches that white people are devils, that separation is the answer, that Elijah Muhammad is a messenger of God. I believed all of that once, taught it, preached it, but I was wrong. I went to Mecca. I saw Muslims of every color praying together. I saw the real Islam, the one that isn't about hate, about separation, about one man's power. And I realized we've been lied to, used, manipulated. So you're saying my faith is a lie? No, your faith is real. Your belief in God is real. Your search for truth is real. But the organization you've tied that faith to, that's the lie. Elijah Muhammad isn't a prophet. He's a man, a flawed man who's using religion to build power, to control people, to enrich himself. And anyone who threatens that power gets destroyed. That's what's happening to me, and one day it will happen to you too. Ali felt anger rising. You're asking me to betray everything, everyone, for what? Your version of truth? I'm asking you to think for yourself, to question, to not blindly follow. The same courage you had to change your name, use that courage to examine what you've been taught, to see if it holds up, to see if the people leading you are worthy of your loyalty. And if I decide they are, if I decide you're wrong, but at least you'll have decided. Instead of just accepting what you're told, instead of being a follower, you're Muhammad Ali, the heavyweight champion of the world, the man who refused the draft, who stood up to America. You're not meant to follow. You're meant to lead, to think, to question. Don't waste that on blind loyalty to men who would throw you away the moment you become inconvenient. They talked until 3 a.m, Malcolm telling stories about Mecca, about his travels, about seeing a different kind of Islam, a different kind of faith, about realizing that hate and separation weren't the answer, that true strength came from unity, from love, from seeing the humanity in everyone, even enemies, especially enemies. Ali listened, argued sometimes, defended the nation, defended Elijah Muhammad, but also listened, really listened, to a man who knew he was about to die, who had nothing to gain, nothing to lose, who was just trying to pass on what he'd learned, to save a friend from making the same mistakes. At 3:15, Malcolm stopped talking, looked at Ali with tired eyes. "I know you won't leave the nation tomorrow, or next month, maybe not for years. They have too strong a hold, and maybe they should. Maybe you need them still. But remember this conversation. Remember what I told you. And when the time comes, when they show you who they really are, when they turn on you, or use you, or throw you away, remember that I told you this would happen. And remember that there's another way, a better way, the way of real Islam, real faith, real love. What if you're wrong? What if they don't turn on me? What if you're just bitter because you got kicked out?" Malcolm smiled, sad, knowing. "Then I'm wrong, and you'll live a long, happy life with the nation, and everything I said tonight will be paranoid nonsense from a bitter ex-member. But if I'm right, if they do show you their true face, I need you to promise me something. Promise me you won't let it destroy you. Promise me you'll find your own way, your own faith, your own truth. Not theirs, not mine, yours. Promise me that Muhammad Ali will be his own man, not owned by anyone, not controlled by anyone, free, the way you were meant to be." Ali felt tears building. "I can't promise that." "Then promise me you'll try. That's all. Just try." Ali nodded. "I'll try." Malcolm stood up, walked to the door, opened it. "You should go. It's late, and you shouldn't be seen here, for your own safety." Ali stood, walked to the door, stopped, turned back. "Malcolm, what you said, about them killing you, run, please, don't let them win. They're not winning, I'm choosing to stay, to speak, to fight in my own way. That's not them winning, that's me choosing my own death over their silence. There's freedom in that, power in that, you'll understand someday." Ali couldn't speak, just looked at Malcolm, the man who'd been his mentor, his teacher, his friend, his betrayer, his betrayed. All of it at once, all of it true. "Thank you," Malcolm said, "for coming, for listening, for being my brother one last time. I love you. I've always loved you. Even when you hurt me, even when you chose them. I've always loved you. Don't forget that." "I love you too," Ali said, the words coming out before he could stop them, before he could think about whether he should say them. Just truth, simple, real. Malcolm smiled. "I know. Now go and remember. When the time comes, remember." Ali walked out, down the hallway, down the elevator, out of the hotel, into the night. He didn't look back, didn't want to, couldn't. The next day, February 21st, 1965, Malcolm X was shot and killed while giving a speech at the Audubon Ballroom in Harlem. Multiple gunmen, Nation of Islam members, just like Malcolm had predicted, just like he'd known. Ali heard about it on the radio, felt the world stop. He'd been with Malcolm the night before, had heard him predict his own death, and had done nothing, said nothing, could have warned someone, could have stopped it somehow, could have done something, anything. He didn't tell anyone about the visit, about the conversation, about the last night. It was too dangerous. The nation would want to know what Malcolm had said, would suspect Ali's loyalty, would question whether he'd been turned. So Ali stayed quiet, carried the secret, carried the guilt, carried Malcolm's last words. But Malcolm was right about everything. Over the next decade, Ali watched the nation show its true face, watched them use him, control him, eventually turn on him when he became too independent, too questioning, too much his own man. And when it happened, when they abandoned him during his exile from boxing, when they demanded loyalty but offered none, Ali remembered that night, remembered Malcolm's words, remembered the prediction, the warning, the love. In the 70s, Ali left the Nation of Islam, found his own path, his own Islam, the real one, the one Malcolm had tried to tell him about, the one based on love and unity and questioning and truth, not control, not hate, not blind following. And every time someone asked him about Malcolm X, Ali's voice would change, would get quiet, would get heavy. Malcolm was right, about everything. I was too young to see it, too scared to admit it, but he was right, and I wish I'd told him that before he died. I wish I'd stood with him instead of against him. That's my biggest regret. Not that night we spent together. That night was grace. My regret is all the nights before, when I chose fear over friendship, when I chose the organization over the man. Malcolm forgave me. I'm still trying to forgive myself. In private to close friends, Ali would tell the story about the final night, about the hotel room, about 3 a.m, about Malcolm predicting his death, about the love. And he'd always end with the same thing. Malcolm gave me the truth that night, the truth about faith, about freedom, about thinking for yourself. But I wasn't ready to hear it, wasn't ready to accept it. It took me 10 years, 10 years of being used, of being controlled, of losing myself, before I was ready to understand what Malcolm tried to tell me in that hotel room. He died trying to save me, and eventually he did. Just took longer than either of us wanted. The lesson is profound and painful. Sometimes the people who love you most tell you truths you're not ready to hear. Sometimes the warnings come too early. Sometimes you have to make the mistakes, have to learn the hard way, have to lose years before you understand what someone tried to give you in one night. Malcolm X gave Muhammad Ali the map to freedom in a hotel room at 3 a.m. But Ali had to walk the long, hard road himself, had to make the mistakes, before he could find his way to where Malcolm had been trying to lead him. And the tragedy is that by the time Ali got there, by the time he understood, by the time he was ready to say, "You were right," Malcolm was gone, had been gone for years. Died knowing Ali wasn't ready, but hoping someday he would be. And he was. Just too late to say thank you. Too late to say I understand. Too late to say you saved me. If this story moved you, share it with someone who needs to hear that it's never too late to listen to the truth. Subscribe for more stories about the conversations that change us, even when we're not ready. And remember, the people who love you enough to tell you hard truths, even when you don't want to hear them, are the people worth listening to. Even if it takes years to understand, even if they're gone before you do, their words remain, their love remains, their truth remains. Malcolm X's last gift to Muhammad Ali was truth, and Ali spent the rest of his life trying to honor it, trying to live it, trying to become the man Malcolm believed he could be, the free man, the questioning man, the man who thought for himself. That's the real legacy. Not just the fight, not just the fame, but the freedom. The freedom Malcolm died trying to give him. The freedom Ali finally found. The freedom we all deserve. To think, to question, to choose, to be ourselves, fully, freely.